So this is where it's going to be.
Yes, the Turnbow Kick-Off is going to be here. I can't wait. I'm so excited to invite everybody and to get some new homeowners in these homes.
Yeah, agreed. I'm excited, and it's going to be grand. All right, guys. Well, welcome to another episode of Making Home Ownership Affordable. And today I have the privilege of standing up, because we're not sitting down, we're at a construction site, of standing up with none other than John Cross, the developer of Cross Builders. So I'm going to catch the audience up a little bit. I'm going to tell them a little bit about John and how we met. So I got a call from a friend of mine, and he's like, well, I have a builder. He's looking to build in this area, and he wants to know what are the comps and how much can he sell this house for? So instantly, I'm like, sure, send it over to me. I'll take a look at it. I got the area, and I said, oh, he wants to build over there. This is going to be a little difficult. And then I saw the floor plan. It was one of the most unique floor plans that I'd ever seen. And I said, John, are you sure that that's where you want to be? And he said, absolutely, this is where I want to be. Fast forward at least 5 years later, he is still in the same area, and he brought along, not intentionally, other builders that are now infiltrating his area. So welcome, John. And again, thank you for being here today on Making Homeownership Affordable. But tell our audience a little bit about Cross Builds.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. My name is John Cross of Cross Builds, where we focus on creating an attainable quality product, directly investing in the communities that we serve. What inspired this project was us just seeing a gap between homes that were affordable, well-built homes, and homes that can be seen as an investment.
Yeah, well, and I'm so glad that you said attainable, because it's so often, so for those of you that don't know, the Turnbow project, these are actually 4 duplex units. So we're calling them the quads. So if you hear it somewhere else, it was here first. These are the Turnbow quads. So when people typically think of housing attainability and affordability, they don't really think about duplexes. Kind of tell us a little bit about how do you think a duplex fit into this attainability?
Duplexes naturally aid in density, and it makes the highest and best use of the land, especially in scenarios like this.
Yeah, the highest and best use of the land. I love that. Land now, we saw in many different areas where land actually exceeded the price of the homes. We're not getting more land. That's just not going to happen. So I'm glad that you said that it makes the best use of the land. But now let's dig a little bit deeper into Turnbow and kind of tell us a little bit about your vision and your inspiration behind this beautiful project.
We wanted to keep things simple. So it was nothing too extra, efficient layouts, durable products, and just a clean build process.
But you said keep things simple. There's nothing about this project that's simple. It is.
The build process simple.
Gotcha.
We wanted to keep that simple.
So keeping the build process simple, does that aid in keeping prices low?
Yes, that aids in affordability, and that's what we had to keep at the forefront, even from the first sketch of the property.
Yeah. What about your finishes? Like making these selections, like selecting this finish versus that finish, and still, and I'm sorry, guys, y'all have not seen the project yet, but when you see it, there's nothing about this project that looks like affordable. But how do you get that equal balance or that perfect balance to where you're able to provide something that is aesthetically pleasing, but yet still affordable?
We have to make it make sense, for lack of better words. And I think that on the pre-development stage, that takes a precedence over the entire project.
Yeah.
Picking those finishes and dealing with my team in those regards helps us have a smooth build process and stay within budget as well.
Yeah. Why do you feel like projects like this are underutilized? Even just duplexes, now there are a lot of builders that are now building duplexes, but as in Houston, which you're not from Houston, which is probably why you were able to bring us this phenomenal product.
For sure. Duplexes aid in many things, I think that I know that they're scalable, they're flexible, but they're often overlooked.
Yeah. Yeah, they are so often overlooked. I know when I'm talking to a potential buyer and I'm like, okay, well, what did you consider, maybe a duplex as a first time home buyer? Like, oh, I want to be an investor. I want to be an investor. Okay, well, that's great.
Right.
That you want to be an investor. I love that. I love that for
Exactly.
you. However, when you look at it, where are you living? And if you're currently renting, then why aren't you paying rent to yourself? Right. So a duplex does exactly that. And when we talk, which I'm probably not going to share it today, I'm going to wait to share the price of this beauty, okay? But when we talk about the price of this beautiful product, it's cheaper per side to do this than it is to buy a single family home.
For sure. Duplexes aid and help with cost per unit.
Yeah. And that was kind of going to be my next question, was about how to duplex aid into our first time home buyers and, for the first time. And you and I have sold quite a few duplexes to first time home buyers.
It gives them that leap, right? I think that when you go into a situation with equity or the option to be a landlord or do short-term rentals or things of that nature, given those different exit routes makes the entry a little bit more easier.
I'm so glad that you said short-term rentals. That is exactly the theme for the launch or the kickoff here.
Kickoff.
Yes.
Come to the kickoff.
That's right. Because of the short-term rental opportunities. So, and now I'm gonna kind of go a little bit off script because he took me there. You took me through there. But because of that, we have the FIFA, which I know very little about sports, and I will not even try to pretend like I know everything about it. But the one thing that I know is about events in Houston, real estate, and the cost for renting. It's absolutely ridiculous. And this is just like you have to pay to play kind of situation. But if you do not have an opportunity at the table, then what?
Can't play.
You absolutely cannot play. So where am I going with that, guys? If you do not have an investment property, of course, I don't know anybody that's moving out of their house to let somebody in it for the FIFA. But I have also heard, I've been told, now I don't know how true this is, I heard that someone made like $10,000 during a major sporting event.
Oh, it's definitely possible, for sure.
That to me is absolutely crazy.
And that wasn't FIFA or soccer. We're talking about a totally different level.
Yeah. So anyways, take a stab at it, get in it, and make sure that you get your shot, which would be right here at the Turnbow Quads. So next question. What challenges do developers face today when trying to deliver an attainable housing project? And what do you feel needs to be changed in order for you to continue in that mission?
I think we're still faced with issues with product timelines and cost. Essentially, that's what we're battling with to keep these things attainable and affordable and to still deliver a quality product.
Yeah. So the mayor produced this 30-day turn time on permits. So my son has this project that he's been dealing with and struggling with for a very long time because they believe it's new construction, but the house was moved, so it has its own challenges. So we went down there and I'm like, hey, what about this 30-day turn day? And we're talking to the planning department. And they were like, well, I'm gonna tell you this. If your stuff isn't perfect, you're not getting through in 30 days.
Right. Obviously, a more efficient approval process will help us all, right? Because we're still in a crisis and we need to deliver these homes to the people.
Yeah, absolutely. More efficient. And which takes me to the next phase. Collaboration. So collaborating between developers, real estate professionals, and the local programs. What do you feel is needed to help move the needle so that we can keep this affordable?
I think ultimately, when you're working together as a team, you're going to get a larger impact. So just initially just taking everyone's strong suits and putting them together in a pot and making something special.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about like Home Depot, guys. You see this, like really? Somebody help us with the cost of lumber.
For sure. For sure.
That's my plea today.
Let's get it together. Man.
Oh, now if you could encourage other builders and or developers to do what you're doing, what would you say to them?
I would tell other builders and developers to don't get caught up in the impact of a big project. Small projects move the needle just the same. Yeah. And if they're intentional, we're still going to make an impact.
Yeah. So often we get into these spaces and we want to go big or go home.
I've been there.
Right. But actually, the person that went big, they started off small.
Exactly.
They had to determine their process. And you mentioned that earlier, having a process. How do you do this? How do you do this? Scaling. Well, you wouldn't know how to scale had you not done it before. So jumping out there, trying to make this big, huge leap and you've never done this before, that can result into a costly.
Cost your pocket and your pride.
You said pocket and pride.
Pocket and your pride.
I love that. I love that. Now, for buyers or investors watching today, why should they pay attention to opportunities such as the Turnbow quads?
Buyers and investors should pay attention to the Turnbow quads because these units are built for today's market and tomorrow's needs.
Yeah. Oh, built for today's market and tomorrow's needs. Yes. And they're just aesthetically pleasing. My goodness. You know, I walked, when I pulled up, I was like, man, it's every time I come in here, there is one new feature. Like these glass inserts.
Yeah. You're gonna get more. You're gonna get more whenever you buy from us or you participate in anything that we're doing. That's how we try to separate us from everybody else.
That's right.
For sure.
Yeah. I love doing comps. Well, I love and hate. I love doing comps for you because then I get to kind of see everything else that's going up in the area. And then I know what quality you're going to bring to the area. That's why I love it. But then I hate it because the appraiser isn't going to say, hey, Crossbuilds has a really nice looking product. Even if they've built your same exact floor plan, it's those features that's in your home that's totally different.
That's gonna turn the house to a home.
That's right. Exactly.
You'll still be able to have this same product if you wanted to exit a different way or whatever the case may be 4 or 5 years from now. You're still gonna be able to compete with this product. That's
right. Which one other piece that many people overlook when we talk about purchasing a duplex? Multi-generational living, it's becoming a necessity. My boys, they're both adults, and they live together in a single-family home. One occupies the primary bedroom, and the other occupies his little room.
Gotcha.
Now, he doesn't care. He's just there.
But we all, I mean, that's an exit route that I wish that our community kind of touched on a little bit more because that's how other communities are able to get ahead. So, I think it's something we should think about.
I do too. And at least you have your own entry door, right? So I would have my own entry door and my sibling would have their own entry door. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a big leap, it's not a big stretch. It can just be a step.
And it makes it extremely affordable. And we'll talk about the price later. Don't worry about it. You'll find out, which takes me, of course, to the last point of today. Professionals, industry professionals, consumers, anyone that is looking to take a look, do some content. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, do not schedule an appointment at a later date trying to come in here and do content, okay? Anyone interested in doing that, when will they have their opportunity?
They're going to have the opportunity at the kickoff. January 30th, we're having the Turnbow Kick-Off. It's going to be everything it needs to be, and you'll be able to see all the beautiful features that we offer.
Yeah, love it. So he said January 30th. So that means save the date on your calendar. January 30th is the kickoff. We'll be here. John will be here. So if you want to kind of pick the brain of the builder just a little bit, but don't hold him too long because he has other things to do. He'll be here as well, and you'll get to take a look at this awesome product and share it with the consumers. Well, and consumers, you're welcome to come as well. But get your content, get your opportunity at taking the first look at this particular property. I want to thank you so very much, John, for being here on Making Home Ownership Affordable. It was definitely a pleasure.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I was going to say to sit down with you. I mean, to stand up with you.
We'll make it happen. We on site today.
Thank you. You have a good one. Thanks, guys.